Hey, it's your man, the one and only Oladele Ngozi, and welcome to NgoziTimeTelevision right here on YouTube channel. Listen, tonight we're going to go into a deep subject, and it is the school-to-prison pipeline. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, and once again, I always say, parents, do you know where your children are right now? Right here on Sunday night, right here, a little after 10 o'clock. Hope your child's in bed. Hope you have that type of discipline to where they have a good rest tomorrow, and they continue to go on. But in recent years, a disturbing shift has occurred in our educational system, okay? Rather than employ traditional disciplinary measures, okay, such as counseling or detention where students misbehave, schools are becoming increasingly dependent on suspensions, expulsions, and law enforcement to punish students. Now, children are arrested and removed from schools, even for minor discretions, okay, at alarming rates around the country. Students cannot learn, teachers cannot teach in unsafe schools. But suspension, expulsion, and arrest don't make the schools any safer either. Okay? Instead, the American Psychological Association has found that these practices harm academic achievement for all students, while increasing the chances that those excluded will be held back, drop out, and become involved with the juvenile and criminal systems. All right? Despite these findings, school discipline rates are at all-time highs, those of 1970s. Pressed by high-stakes testing and inadequate resources, many schools are choosing to forego mentorship and intervention for students in favor of exclusion and arrest. Indeed, the current approach to educational accountability offers educators the perverse incentive to choose whom to educate and to remove the rest. We're talking about our children they're messing with. Are you going to allow this to happen, parents? Are you willing to die for your children? Are you willing to put yourself in harm's way for your child? There's a lot of things that need to be discussed here tonight, and I'm hopefully, my transcript will help you. As the rates of discipline have dramatically increased, disparities on racial lines have become more persuasive. Okay, students of color, particularly African American boys, account for overwhelming a number of school-enforced punishments, as well as the majority of arrests for school-related infractions around the country. African American students overall are nearly 3 times likely to be suspended, and Latino students nearly 1.5 times to be suspended as their white peers. Historically, inadequacies in the educational system, the segregated education, concentrated poverty, and long-standing stereotypes influence how school officials and law enforcement both label children and treat students who present challenging behaviors. Now, studies show that students of color receive harsh punishments for engaging in the same behaviors as white students, and that's a problem. So what do we do? Do we stand by and allow this to happen? Do we allow the inadequacies that go on? And it is a problem in our country. We have to do a better job. Who's going to stand up for the kids? Are you? That's the key. Now, racially isolated schools that primarily educate students of color are more likely to be among the nation's dropout facilities, okay, or factories. Okay. Also among those that utilize the harshest, most exclusionary means of discipline. Now, this funneling students out of school and into the streets and the juvenile correction system perpetrates a cycle known as the school-to-prison pipeline. Okay, and depriving children and youth of meaningful, and I say it again, meaningful opportunities for education, future employment, and participation in our democracy. The NAACP Legal Defense Fund. I haven't heard from them in a long time. I'm glad we're actually talking about them in relevancy. Recognize the devastating effects of criminalizing rather than educating children and youth. It is dedicated to reversing the pipeline. In partnership with community organizations, the Legal Defense Fund has introduced and proposed a number of groundbreaking programs and advocacies aimed at returning the emphasis to education instead of exclusion and incarceration. What are you going to do? Are you there for your children, or you're always on Facebook looking for trying to find your boyfriend or girlfriend is cheating on you. Instead of doing, due diligence and asking, Bobby or Tanisha, are you doing your homework? Can I check your homework? Are you being proactive instead of reactive? It's very important for a child to understand that you care. Okay, I know a lot of things are going on out there in those streets. And a good parent can only do what they can. Okay, but the fact of the matter is that child knows that you're a good parent. It helps more than the children that do not have them in their lives. We can do better by keeping in contact with the teachers. No matter what environment that child is in, okay, you can make it. You can make it. Parent, you can make it. Teach your children that you can make it. And there's a lot of people who have been successful in harsh times, in harsh situations. It's been going on all around ever since school has been, been in existence, been open. But look at it this way. Now you look at, more harsh environmental, how can I say, just being able to get over the hump. Okay, most of our students are miseducated. The funding is hardly there. They want to close more schools and open more prisons, of course. They're closing libraries. Also, kid can't even go to the recreation center to even, to dip off in the pool when it's hot. So it's almost like, it's like that crab barrel existence to where, don't worry, they'll kill each other off. Now you find more 13 and 14-year-old children getting murdered on gang-related situations all across the country. It takes a team effort. And I always say this, charity starts where? At home. So what do? You make sure that your household is in order. Make sure that you have the fundamental and, basic beliefs of respect in your own household, which means it starts from the dad being there. Hopefully, if mom is there by herself and she has raised children, but we want to really talk about family inclusion. We're talking about dad being there or a proper male figure being there, having that grip and that how can I say it? That sociological shot in the arm. And then, of course, the respect of the woman there, making sure that she's the helpmeet to the man. Same way for the man being able to honor the woman. And then the children with honor. This is what it's all about. So make sure your home is set. And then, of course, go next door to your next door neighbor and see how they're doing. You have two next door neighbors, live in the corner, and you have one. And then, of course, that neighborhood will be able to come together and mesh. One household at a time, one block at a time, one community at a time. Now, some people might think it's utopian. It's really not. You have to really, really put yourself in a position that you really want to change your community. Do you? That's the key. One person can make a difference. So just imagine 25 people or 25 households in one block that say no to whatever's going on. Absolutely not. We're not going to allow this to happen. Not here. Not now. We're going to make sure that our children live. Fear is in, I hate to say, also it's in the eye of the beholder as well. Are you willing to die for your children? And I'm not talking about being someone's martyr, but we are the protectors of our children. And our kids go out here every day. We don't know if they're going to come back. It's a sad situation. And we teachers cannot raise our children. Only we can raise our children or rear our children and do it the right ways. And that's all. The school to prison pipeline is being filled and funneled every single day. Every community, every city. We have to stand up and we gotta say enough is enough. No one's trying to burn down the post office. No one wants to take over the country. No, that's not what we're about. Okay? So social engineering is a very, very harsh thing that's going on in our country. Okay? You can overcome that. The rap music, hip hop music, I'm a DJ. So the rap music, hip hop music is supposed to be entertainment. It's like, what's going on out there. the drug selling, the disrespect. Really, in all honesty, if you're a smart person, it's supposed to gear you to where you shouldn't want to go and not glamorize it. I'm a big person of artwork, especially of tattooing. I think it's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful thing. When you start putting it all over your face, you can't get a job. Okay, there are people out there that, of course, they're doing their thing as artists. Okay, and they already made their money. Common sense is not always that common, guys. We got to do better. Okay, you want to succeed in life, or don't you? We call our community. Some people call their communities a trap. So right there, that's disrespectful in itself. We make it a whole music. Oh, we call it trap music. We talking about what's going on in the trap. There's a certain element of society that gets laughed at every single day. You know who you are. You get laughed at by the world, period. The world is bigger than this little small block. Ridiculed every day. You got the brothers wearing their pants down below their waistline. You shouldn't even have the guts to do that, especially when you walk around older people, like people that could have been old enough to be your grandma, and you walk around with your pants sagging. I mean, really sagging. Who does that? And you would be taken serious? And then you wonder why people run for election and say what they want to say. You wonder why the policing across this country don't give a damn about certain youth in our country. Because of the way you present yourself. So now a regular innocent boy has to hold his hands up like this while you see a police officer because you don't want him to shoot. Because we're representing. And I'm a freedom fighter all the way. And I don't go along with no bad policing, but I do go along with trying to get our kids home safe and sound. It's just a sad situation, guys. And it all goes back to the environments, the prison pipeline. Who really wants to go to prison when it's all this wonderful air out here? You'd be better off living in a homeless shelter than going to prison. At least you can leave the homeless shelter and go outside. You got some person going to tell you when to get up, when to eat, and when to sleep. Who wants to go through that? You? You the next person want to go to prison? You? You want to go? You don't want to be educated? You're next. I'm talking to you. Man, look, get your life together. Okay? I know these schools are misfunded all the day long. It doesn't cost a penny for you to go to the free library and learn something that's different than what you're learning in school. So that way you have double portion. Get out of the middle schools. Get out of the high schools. If you do what you can do, you can make it. And don't let nobody tell you that you can't make it. Even if it's your parent that's telling you you ain't never going to be this, you ain't never going to be that. Well, forget that parent too. They just had you. They're just biological. Okay, they're really not a parent. Parent cares. A parent nurtures. A parent encourages. A parent doesn't provoke a child to anger as well. A parent corrects and disciplines when needed. We got to save the kids, man. We have a new generation of children growing up. And even the kids that are, right now, 14 to 21, they're not lost either. Like I said last night, we have an older generation that doesn't respect themselves. So how do you expect these kids to respect them? It's kind of hard. It's really kind of hard. And then you got mama that wants to hang out in the street, and the kids are left by themselves, cooking for themselves. And like, well, where's my mama? I remember the times before crack cocaine, mama was in the house, no matter if she struggled or not. After the crack generation, mama didn't give a damn. Not only did she wasn't around, but she'll sell her child for situations. So, like I said, prison is not where you want to be. Schools, there's help out there, guys. Oh, my school's misfunded, blah, 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 blah. Or, oh, man, they shoot around the school. Okay. Then if you can't go to school, then figure out a way where you can be homeschooled. There's no excuse for you not getting your education. And I know there's places like in Chicago, Detroit, LA, that, going to school could cost you your life. And that's sad too. But you can still get your education if you really want it. I remember that great generation that was segregating against. They found a way, even though they had to walk almost 8 blocks, okay, and at least to school, let alone down south where they had to walk almost 6 or 7 miles to school. You can make it. You can make it. That great generation is still alive and fresh right now today. It's in you. Parents, let's try to get that spirit out of our children to make them the best they can be. And if you do that, you make Brother O very happy. I am your mother and father's favorite producer, Oladeli Malewa Ngozi, saying goodnight from NgoziTimeTelevision. Very proud tonight. And, do my little 16, 17 minutes and I'm out of here like Vladimir. And thank you so much. Like I said, you can follow me on Facebook at Oladeli Malewa Ngozi. Any comments or suggestions to this program, listen, oladeli.ngozi, about mine@gmail.com. I won't be on every night, but I darn sure will be on when needed and when we have a topic. This school to prison pipeline has to stop. And it's not just utopian thought, guys. Let's get it together. Let's really get it together. Let's save our kids now before it's too late. One.